One Saturday, my wife called me to the kitchen and told me, look, from the window, there is a guy standing on the hill here, next to our house. I went out to see who the guy is, and then I saw a few activists from Israeli organizations, which I know. Behind them, I saw foreigners standing with this kind of vest. They arrived here in 2016, Shabbat after Shabbat for 5 times to bother us, to make provocation together with the Israeli radical left organization, together with Palestinian organization. After the second time they arrived, second Saturday, we decided that it's about time to take the gloves off.
קיבלתי דיווח על קבוצה של תיירים שנמצאים בשלוחה של הר הרודיון, שנראים קצת חשודים, לא ברור אם תיירים, לא תיירים, פותחים מפות. קפצתי לנקודה יחד עם כוחות צבא ומשטרה, תשאלנו אותם, הם הציגו את עצמם כצליינים ותיירים שבאו לטייל בהרודיון, בהר שנמצא מולנו. ישר הסתכלנו על המפות שלהם, ראינו שזה לא מפות של תיירים, עם כל מיני סימונים של היישובים, חלקות, אדמות, כל מיני נקודות שולטות. עשינו להם חיפוש ברכבים, מצאנו וסטים שהם שייכים אותם לארגון שהוא ארגון מקדם BDS, מעורר הפסדים סביב היישובים הארגון הזה, ארגון שנקרא EXP3. כמובן שכוחות צבא ומשטרה שהיו במקום הודיעו להם שהם מעוכבים, הם נלקחו להמשך טיפול בתחנת משטרה.
EXP3 is a project of the World Council of Churches. The World Council of Churches is one of the biggest church organizations in the world. It's a very unique project that sends delegates, or let's call them accompagners, this is the official word, to conflict zones, but only one conflict zone in the world, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, in order to investigate about human rights, to see that there is no violations, to protect the communities, and then go back and report back to the church. It's a political project in disguise of human rights, meaning they send their volunteers, or I will say their activists. The activists get inside with tourist visas, not as an official representatives. They disguise themselves as an official organization. They're collecting information, who knows what they're collecting, from conflict zones between Israelis and Palestinians, Israeli army and the Palestinians, and then go back home and officially leading anti-Israeli campaigns with sometimes, most of the times, with theological anti-Semitic rhetoric. We have a video that, by the way, was deleted from the internet, that you see an activist with his brown vest giving a lecture and comparing what the Israelis doing in Hebron to the Nazi gas chambers. We documented 2 main activists, that was one of them was twice in the program, sharing and posting in their social media extreme anti-Semitic cartoons. Star of David's bleeding on Palestinians' child. This program is fully funded by European governments and European church organizations, period. All the organizations and the governments know exactly what this program is doing. We found that all the activists that coming back from their 3-month experience or training here are using very extreme rhetoric about Jews, about the fact that the Jews don't have a right on their lands. They're comparing Israelis to Nazis. They're doing everything that violating every definition of anti-Semitism. And the most interesting part is not happening only in Europe. They're going back to more than 22 countries. We counted 22, I bet there are also more. We saw that they're leading the main BDS campaign against Israel in Brazil, in Korea, in all Scandinavia. It's not just different campaigns connected to each other, but a system. A person getting recruited, sent in by a church to here, going back, the church is taking him as under its wing, and then tell the person, okay, from now on you will do a lobby against Israel in the parliament. You will do a BDS campaign. You will do lectures against the Israelis. The government of Canada gave $1 million Canadian dollar to EXP3 in order for an educational project. When we approached the Canadians with the data, they just didn't understood where the money is going. What EXP3 has to do with education project? We thought that our $1 million is going to some very nice educational project that teaching Palestinians children. And we keep seeing it, and we are also challenging the governments with those materials and with this data.
After they broke into our community and harassed us for 5 Saturdays, we decided to found DMU project. DMU project based on volunteers, and the goal is to document them and to expose their illegal activities to decision makers, to the Israeli public, and to Christians abroad. DMU project began its activity 3 years ago. We are documenting them in every area they are working. We wrote a report on July 2016. We found out that they actually support terror. For example, just few days after the terror attack and the murder of the Solomon family from Halamish, EAPPI activists visited the family of the terrorist in the village of Kuba. In Jerusalem, they are working with Jida, a terrorist who spent 17 years in the Israeli prison for carrying a terror attack in Jerusalem. In Gush Etzion, they are working with Hassan Berjie, the spokesperson of the terror organization PFLP, Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine. Because they know the activity here is illegal, they deceive the Israeli authorities when they arrive to Israel. They are saying that they are tourists, pilgrims, using the name of Christianity. In one of the demonstrations, we found this notebook of one of their activists. And this notebook gave us a lot of information regarding their way of activity, their activities in Israel. Then we found out that they are deeply working in the old city of Jerusalem and collecting intelligence on security. From Jerusalem, we moved to Hebron. We document the activists of EAPPI following and documenting IDF military operations. Here you can see how they documented military training. I can only assume where the photos and the materials are going to. It's very important to understand that they are tourists. And for tourists, it's illegal to collect intelligence of military operations. That's what we found out they are doing in Hebron. They are not a recognized organization in Israel, but they hire people here, local and foreigners. And in order to hire people, they need to have some kind of permit. And they're getting the permit through other organizations. We then took this report and we had several meetings with ministers, with parliament members, with different Israeli official authorities, with security authorities. We gave them the information regarding to this report. Our pressure, together with NGO Monitor's report, with Camera Committee's research, with the acts of the Israeli authorities, and in the last few weeks, the activity of Im Tirtzu movement in Hebron, brought the World Council of Churches to announce on January 29th that they are going to pull EAPPI from Hebron. After 3 years of working on the field, we exposed their illegal activity. The conclusion is that they have to be banned from Israel.